The first whiff that slapped me awake that crisp autumn morning wasn't the earthy scent of my late grandma's rose garden or the faint hum of neighborhood kids playing tag. It was the acrid tang of fresh paint and industrial cleaner, like someone had hosed down history with a bottle of corporate bleach. I pulled into the driveway of the old Victorian house in Willow Creek Estates, my family's anchor for 3 generations, and froze, keys dangling from the ignition, staring at a scene straight out of a bad dream. My front yard, once a wild tapestry of blooming perennials and that creaky wooden swing where Grandpa proposed, now barricaded with yellow caution tape, workers in matching vests ripping it all up under the watchful eye of a woman who looked like she'd stepped out of a real estate brochure from hell. She was tall, impeccably dressed in a white pantsuit that screamed, "I own this block." Her blonde bob not a hair out of place, clipboard clutched like a scepter. As I stepped out of my beat-up Honda, heart pounding, she turned with that practiced smile, teeth too white, eyes too calculating, and said, "Ah, you must be Ms. Riley Thompson. Or should I say, the former resident." Her voice dripped with that faux politeness, the kind that makes you want to check if your wallet's still in your pocket. I blinked, confusion turning to a slow boil. Former? This is my house. I inherited it from my grandma 6 months ago. What the hell is going on? She tilted her head, that pitying look reserved for people who don't read the fine print. "Oh, honey," she cooed, though there was no honey in it, just vinegar masked as concern. "This isn't just a house. It's a non-compliant asset in Willow Creek's premier community. I'm Karen Hargrove, president of the Homeowners Association. Per our covenants, Section 4.2 on aesthetic uniformity, your property was flagged for violations after being unoccupied. We've assumed management to bring it up to code. Think of it as a glow-up for the neighborhood. Violations? My grandma's garden had won local awards back in the day. A riot of colors that made the whole street feel alive. Now, these goons were yanking out heirloom roses like they were weeds, replacing them with cookie-cutter sod and those go-doffel plastic flamingos that screamed suburban conformity. I felt the ground shift under me, but I didn't yell. Not yet. I'd learned the hard way, after years of whispers about my troubled family, the rumors that painted me as the black sheep who skipped town, that shouting just fed the beast. So I smiled back, tight-lipped, and asked, "Mind showing me that paperwork, Karen?" She thrust the clipboard forward with a flourish, like she was handing over the 10 Commandments. Pages of legalese, stamped with the HOA seal, a pretentious eagle clutching a gavel. "See here? Vacancy clause. 6 months without primary occupancy triggers intervention. We're staging it for resale to ensure property values don't dip. It's for the greater good." Greater good? This was the house where my mom baked apple pies that filled the air with cinnamon, where I'd hidden under the stairs during thunderstorms, feeling safe in its creaky embrace. Now, it smelled like a show home, sterile, soulless. Inside, where Grandma's quilted throw used to drape the worn leather sofa, there was a sleek sectional in beige, straight from some catalog. The bookshelves, once crammed with dog-eared mysteries and family albums, now held color-coordinated vases and abstract sculptures that looked like twisted metal pretzels. And parked in my spot, a gleaming white SUV with vanity plates, HOA Queen. I wanted to laugh, but it caught in my throat like a sob. The neighbors were watching from their windows, curtains twitching like guilty consciences. Old Mr. Jenkins next door, who'd shared fence-line chats with Grandma for decades, averted his eyes when I waved. They'd all bought into this HOA nonsense years ago, signing away their souls for community standards. I'd been away in the city, dealing with my own mess. A messy divorce that left me labeled the unstable ex in online forums. But I'd paid the taxes, kept the lights on remotely. This wasn't abandonment. It was life. You can't just waltz in and redecorate, I said, keeping my voice even, though my fists clenched. Karen's eyebrow arched, that signature move of HOA tyrants everywhere. Actually, we can. And we did. The board voted unanimously. If you'd attended meetings, she trailed off, implying my absence was a crime. I bit back a retort about how those meetings were just echo chambers for her power plays. Instead, I pulled out my phone. Fine. I'll call my lawyer. Her smile widened. Predatory. Oh, do. But while you're at it, note that any resistance could lead to fines. Up to $500 a day for noncompliance. As the workers hauled away the last of the garden, roots dangling like defeated limbs, I felt a spark ignite. Not rage. Not yet. Observation. I'd watch, wait, and turn their rules against them. That evening, holed up in a dingy motel on the edge of town, the kind where the vending machine eats your quarters and spits out stale chips, I scrolled through the HOA's online portal. It was a goldmine of absurdity. Rules against unsightly bird feeders, because apparently birds were anarchists. Mandates for identical mailbox colors, taupe only, no deviations, and a clause about holiday decorations not exceeding tasteful minimalism. Grandma's twinkling Christmas lights, banned retroactively. The forums were worse, threads bashing problem properties like mine, with anonymous posts that reeked of Karen's influence. That Thompson place is dragging us down, one read. Time for fresh blood. Fresh blood? This was my bloodline, etched into every floorboard. I didn't post back. I documented. Screenshots, timestamps, every nitpicky violation they'd ever enforced on others but ignored for their cronies. The whispers had started long before. Back when I was a kid, the HOA was just a loose group, but Karen had turned it into her fiefdom. She'd run unopposed for president 5 terms, her platform all about preserving values, while she remodeled her McMansion with variances no one else got. People called her the neighborhood watchdog, but it was more like a pit bull with a grudge. I'd been the target before. Teenage me got fined for a skateboard ramp that obstructed views. Now, as an adult, the rumors flew. Riley's letting the place rot. Probably on drugs like her ex claimed. Lies, but they stuck like gum on a sidewalk. I sipped bad coffee, plotting. First step, attend a meeting. Show up smiling, play their game. The community center smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. Folding chairs arranged in a circle like a support group for the overly entitled. Karen presided at the head, gavel in hand, her white blazer spotless. Order, she banged, though the room was silent. 20-odd residents shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting. I slipped in the back, notebook in lap. Item 1, Thompson property update, she announced, voice laced with that smug authority. Staging is complete. Bids start next week. Any questions? A hand shot up, Mrs. Patel from down the street. But Riley's back. Isn't this hasty? Karen's smile faltered for a split second, then recovered. The covenants are clear. Vacancy equals forfeiture. It's democratic. Democratic? Half the board were her bridge club buddies. I raised my hand, calm as a cucumber. Actually, Karen, per state law, inheritance overrides HOA claims without due process. Care to share the vote minutes? The room murmured. Her eyes narrowed. Ms. Thompson, this isn't the place for disputes. File a formal appeal. But I saw it. The crack in her facade. The way her French-tipped nails tapped the gavel a tad too hard. After the meeting, she cornered me by the snack table, where stale cookies mocked us both. Listen, Riley, she said, voice dropping to that conspiratorial whisper HOA Karens love. This doesn't have to be ugly. Sell to us quietly. We'll cut you a check, fair market. Minus fines. Fines? For what? Your garden violated height restrictions, she explained, as if uprooting memories was a mere technicality. And the swing? Safety hazard. I almost laughed. That swing had held generations without incident. Tempting, I lied, but I'll pass. See you in court. As I walked out, I heard her mutter to her lackey, stubborn, just like her grandma, good. Let her underestimate me. The next morning, my mailbox overflowed with citations. Grass too long, by half an inch. Porch light bulb, non-standard wattage. Even a fine for loitering in my own driveway. Petty, but predictable. I photographed each one, then dug into public records. Turns out, Karen's firm wasn't just HOA. She moonlighted as a realtor, flipping problem properties for profit. Conflict of interest? You bet. But she buried it under layers of shell committees. I reached out discreetly to ex-residents who'd been run out, emails, quiet calls. Stories poured in. The single dad fined into bankruptcy over a trampoline. The elderly couple evicted for excessive potted plants. All leading back to Karen's web, where she laundered her cuts through association fees. Humorous in a dark way, how she preached community while pocketing the spoils. One night, staking out from my motel with binoculars, don't judge, desperation breeds spies. I saw her SUV pull up to my house. She emerged with a burly guy, probably her enforcer, a local contractor named Brock who did her dirty work. They hauled in boxes, then out came more of Grandma's stuff. The antique clock, family photos, tossed into a dumpster like trash. My blood simmered, but I filmed it all. Evidence? I whispered to myself. The irony? Their truck violated the HOA's own no commercial vehicles after dark rule. Snap. Gotcha. Tension built like a pressure cooker. Karen amped up the harassment. Anonymous notes in my motel mailbox. Leave or else. Tires slashed with a precise cut. No accident. Personal now. I confided in Aunt Lydia, Grandma's old bridge partner, who lived a block over. Her kitchen smelled of fresh-baked scones, a stark contrast to the sterile hell my home had become. That woman's poison, Lydia whispered over tea. Your grandma knew. She fought the HOA expansions, called Karen out at meetings, said she was twisting rules for kickbacks. Kickbacks? Lydia nodded. Proof hidden somewhere. Evelyn was sly, journaled everything. My grandma, the secret sleuth. She said if anything happened, you'd know where to look. Happened? Grandma's accidental fall down the stairs, ruled natural, but suspicious. Brakes cut? No. But a loose railing that should have been fixed. The pieces clicked, Karen silencing dissent. I tried official channels. Called the county clerk. HOA overreach? File a complaint. But the hold music looped eternally. Then a bored voice. Without evidence, It's he said, she said. Evidence was in the house. Under lock and key, hers. The sheriff, Deputy Ramirez, who'd barbecued with Grandma, showed up when I reported trespassing. Riley, she's got docs, he sighed, hat in hand. Association management. Cool off. Get a lawyer. As he left, Karen watched from the window, phone in hand, ready to dial 911 with those crocodile tears. Unstable intruder, she'd whimper. Classic Karen playbook. Desperation peaked when a helper appeared. A slick kid named Dylan, tech whiz with drones. Heard about your plight, he said in the motel lobby, hoodie shadowing his face. I can fly over, scope the place. Suspicious, but I bit. We set up in my room, feeds showing Karen directing more upgrades, ripping out original hardwood for laminate. They're searching, Dylan muttered. For what? Your grandma's dirt on her. We planned to sneak in during a forecasted storm. But one night, checking the feed, I caught him slipping an envelope to Brock in the shadows. Betrayed. I shredded notes, went solo. The storm hit like karma's fury, rain lashing, thunder rumbling. I parked distant, trekked through mud, avoiding the front where floodlights beckoned like a trap. Climbed the old maple tree, branch to balcony, slippery, heart racing. Inside, voices below. She'll crack, Karen sneered. Grief makes them sloppy. Crept. Found the hidden panel in the fireplace. Fourth brick left. Third up. Grandma's secret fort, spot. Dialed my birth date. Click. Ledger and flash drive. Ledgers of bribes. Flipped properties. Even ties to local Pauls. Jackpot. Her voice slithered. Thanks, Riley. Brock blocked the door. Hand it over. Pretend it's a mix-up. I met her gaze. You killed Grandma, she chuckled. She tripped. Clumsy old bat. Lightning flashed, spotlighting Grandpa's antique foxtrap on the wall. A joke gift. I shoved a chair into Brock. Kicked the trap. Snap. His scream pierced the night. Boot crushed. Karen froze, mask slipping into comical horror. I grabbed the goods, dove through the window, glass shattering, rain soaking. Ran like hell. Hours later, soaked and cut, I stormed the state attorney's office, dumping evidence. Skeptical agents plugged in the drive, webs of corruption unraveled. Task force assembled. 2 days on, from a hill, I watched raids, Dylan cuffed, babbling, Brock hobbling, Karen in white, chin high till it cracked. Her eyes met mine, cold promise. A week passed, house released. Cleaned, restoring sense of lavender and wood. Phone buzzed, should have sold. Higher ups, I secured the drive, called a journalist pal. Story blew up. Feels like suffocating in suburbia, gaslit by bylaws and smiles. But truth ignites, burning facades. If a HOA Karen stole your legacy, manipulating rules for profit, would you fight back with cunning, or surrender to the greater good? Who's truly the villain, the resistor or the ruler?